Hey y'all, I'm Father Jim Haney from St. Paul's in the Plains in Lubbock, Texas, and I have just a few thoughts I want to share with you today. This week, on Thursday, we have one of the important feast days of the Christian year, which people usually ignore, the Feast of the Presentation, February the 2nd. It is a commemoration of the events that are narrated in the second chapter of Luke. 40 days after the birth of Jesus, his parents take him to the temple in Jerusalem, and the prophet Simeon and the prophetess Anna meet Jesus there. And it's a wonderful story, but I'm not going to talk about that. Instead, I'm going to talk about something that happened on the Feast of the Presentation amongst some German settlers in the United States. It was about midway through winter, and so they started the custom of pulling a groundhog out of the ground on the Feast of the Presentation and seeing if it would see its shadow. And thus, this day became known as Groundhog Day, which brings up a marvelous, marvelous movie. The 1993 comedy by Bill Murray, directed by Harold Ramis, Groundhog Day. It is probably the most spiritually profound romantic comedy that's been made. I can't think of another romantic comedy that is so rich spiritually. If you don't know the story, you got to go out and get the movie immediately. It's wonderful. Bill Murray plays this really egotistical, arrogant TV weatherman in Pittsburgh, and he is sent out to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania to cover Groundhog Day, and he just hates it. And then to top things off, he finds himself stuck in time. He gets into a time loop, and over and over again, he finds himself reliving the exact same Groundhog Day. At first, his reaction is just to kind of go through a period of utter dejection. He drinks an enormous amount. He gets depressed. He kills himself several times. He says at one point to some guys in the bar, what would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing you did mattered? And one of the guys at the bar says, hey, that sums it up for me. That's just a horrible existence, an endless cycle, a treadmill from which you can never escape. And Phil goes to another stage in the movie. It's not much better. Since he has insider knowledge of what's going to happen, what the events of the day will be, since he's living the same day over and over, he uses that insider knowledge to rob money from an armored car. He uses it to pick up women with insider knowledge about their histories. He's just very sleazy with it. But then there's the marvelous third stage. And in that third stage, and this is the spiritually great part of the movie, we see great maturity from Phil. He really grows as a person. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it. But Phil begins to make it his mission on Groundhog Day to help others in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And in doing so, he grows enormously, immensely himself. And I think that's a wonderful message for us. We are put on this earth with a mission. Hopefully we won't be stuck reliving the same events over and over again, like Phil was. And yet we have the opportunity every day to serve others, to help those around us, to live not only for ourselves, but for them. And in the process, we will find that we will grow as well. And so happy Groundhog Day on Thursday. And if you haven't seen the movie, go out and get it. Marvelous movie, Groundhog Day.